Steve and Courtney Adcock, they are retired, and they did so early in Pearce, Arizona. And like many of us, they've watched their accounts go down in the past few months. Steve even talked to Yahoo Finance about the adjustments they're going to have to make because of that.
The key is to build an efficient support system for when you don't have all that money coming in. Whether that's cost of living, you keep that down, moving to another place. Maybe it's taking on some more work, maybe it's a side hustle, whatever that looks like. Don't just assume that the market's always going to be great, because as we've seen recently, clearly it's not.
So it sounds like their lifestyle is directly connected to how well the market's doing, and that's not too great right now.
It's risky, but at the end of the day, you got to be comfortable with it. I mean, right now, the phase one is in the process. The weather is absolutely gorgeous this weekend. There's a silver lining behind everything, Kristen. Mm-hmm. And when people put their eggs in one basket and they put it into the stock market, and I have a lot of friends at the club that they live and strive and live and die by the stock market, and that's the way they're going to do. And that's their decision. And you have to accept the good with the bad. It's like going to a blackjack table with $1,000, and you're saying, well, if I double my money, I'm walking away. If I lose this money, I'm fine. And that's what you do. But it's the consequences that you have to deal with, not just for yourself, but you have to take your family into consideration, your wife, your kids, if you have any, and your grandkids. And going down the wall is if we've seen a drop in the market in the last couple of months. We've seen a heavy one. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're even saying the R word, which I'm not going to say what the R word is.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm not going to do it. But how long is this going to continue is one thing that none of us know. And One thing I've loved over the last couple months, besides seeing families together, is the clients that I'm talking to on my base, that they feel so comfortable saying, hey, we're glad we took this portion of our portfolio and we're protecting it. We're not worried about what the stock market is. We're not worried about the unknown anymore. Also, there's a lot of people with sacrifices. I've talked to my dad and people in his neighborhood and stuff that they are heavily into the stock market, and they're like, they're now considering downsizing and making sacrifices. We have people in our building, that we have Rent-A-Kill, that Stereotech in our building, they've lost 92% of their client base because people are cutting back on incidental costs that was a luxury of having done, and now they don't have that anymore because they're preparing. And that's the number one thing that I stress with people. That's one number one thing I love what I do is preparing. It's like taking a vacation, preparing for that vacation, preparing to go play that golf match, preparing to do whatever. And if you prepare properly, the consequences are going to be a lot more minimized going forward.